Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. In this video, we are looking at the NBA slate for Friday. Happy Friday. We have a 7-game slate today, starting at 7 o'clock, so let's get into it. As always, if you enjoy the videos, appreciate it if you hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. You can follow me on Twitter for updates at the DFS process. Let's get back on track on this slate. It's a good one. We have some nice games to target, like Indiana, Brooklyn, Sacramento, New Orleans Pelicans. That's going to be a couple fun games to look at. We already have some news that we're waiting on. Nikola Jokic is the centerpiece. He is currently questionable. If he is out, then we're definitely going to be wanting to go to JaMychal Green will start in his place. Big bums for Will Barton, Michael Porter Jr. in terms of usage and shot attempts. In just 15 minutes, Jokic ended up putting up 41 fantasy points, was absolutely on track to drop like 70 plus, 80 plus fantasy points. Would have had a triple-double most likely with ease if he played the second half, but unfortunately, it looks like he's going to be okay. I think there's a chance they hold him out for a game or two just to make sure. Like, there's no chance that he's 100% and no chance that he can like re-injure it or anything like that. Before we get into the picks, we'll look at prize picks here. We got most of the props. We got at least some of the props on the board, so I feel good about posting my my favorite three. Looking at the points, I like Devontae Graham over 17.5. He has just been shocking since the season has started as a member of the Pelicans. Looking at his game logs here, looking at Devontae Graham's games logs. If there's no Josh Hart, once again, it just benefits him in terms of minutes. But he's taken 17, 16, 14, 14, and 9 shots. The minutes have been steady the last few games, looking at solid starter level minutes, and takes a ton of threes. He has taken 10 plus threes in more than half of the games this year. I think there's a good chance he puts up at least 18 points. He's done that in every single game except for one, where he shot just 2 of 14 from the floor. Then I like Cole Anthony's over 5.5 assists. He has starting to really take control of the point guard duties in Orlando. They do have some other guys there, but until Markelle Fultz is back, Cole Anthony's going to have the ball in his hands. He's been playing huge minutes, 30 plus every single game. Close games, he's looking at 35 minutes. Does a little bit of everything, rebounding the ball really well. Assists are almost 6 per game. Has a high usage rate. And in this one, Toronto's defense has not been very good. Expect this one to be somewhat higher scoring for the Magic. So I think he can kind of look to some of his teammates and kind of find some of his open teammates here. Overall, Toronto's done an okay job at limiting points, but I just still don't like their defense a lot until they get like Siakam back or some of their other guys back. But Scottie Barnes, a rookie. OG's very good defensively. But Van Fleet still has some struggles with his size. And overall, I think Cole Anthony can at least get 6 assists. And then we have, last one was Darren Fox. His assist prop is only 6 here. In this type of matchup, he's a thumbnail. I think Fox is going to go off tonight. That is my favorite prop on the board at Prize Picks. For him, averaging 7.3 assists per game. Last year, I think it was at like 8 plus or close to 9 plus assists per game. This year, he's just struggling with his shot. The assists are still there, 10, 6, 5, and 8 across 4 games. And minutes, 34 plus in all 4 games. Just too good of a spot here. The matchup is really solid against the Pelicans. Should be a fast-paced game. Price tag on Fox has really come down after he was like 93 to start the year. $900 difference right now on his price tag to start the year. It's just too cheap. 7 of 20 last game. Still had a double-double. But tougher matchup against Phoenix here. Tough matchup against Utah. So 2 out of the 4 haven't been the easiest. But otherwise, Fox has still been good except for the shooting. Those are going to come. He's not going to continue to shoot under 40% from the floor, 16% from 3, and just 54% from the line. So Fox is going to be the first guy to plug in here at point guard. I think he's due for a huge game. I don't think he'll be super popular on this one because at point guard you have LaMelo Ball, you have Damian Lillard, you have James Harden, Westbrook, Luka, so many top-heavy guys. People wanted to go cheap. They might go to like Van Fleet or McCollum as tier 2 stars. But give me Darren Fox at that price tag. I think he's due for a big game, and wouldn't be surprised if he drops 50 plus tonight. Alexander Walker is fine as well at 67. He looks better if there's no Josh Hart, but still he looks like a viable option. I probably like Devontae Graham more than him, though. Save $700. Get a guy that plays similar minutes, has a similar usage rate, and takes similar amount of shots. Reggie Jackson is 61. I think that's fine for tournaments. In cash games, you could go there, but there's some other better plays. Like, he's been consistent and not having a decent floor. Haven't really seen the ceiling, but that's going to come. He's also been taking a ton of shots. He just haven't been falling. Has one good shooting game like Darren Fox. I think Jackson can put up 35, close to 40. So Jackson, Devontae Graham, good cheap plays here. Under $6,000, T.J. McConnell is going to be the core piece across both sites. There's no Malcolm Brogdon today, so you'll see T.J. McConnell jump into the starting lineup. We've seen this in years past. Whenever T.J. McConnell's gotten those minutes, he's been really productive, whether it's with the 76ers and with the Pacers the last few years. Give him 30 minutes. He's normally going to drop 30-plus fantasy points because he can really rack up the assists. We've seen him drop 10-plus assists a bunch of times last year when he was in the starting lineup or got those extra minutes. And he's a guy that can also get you a lot of steals. Hasn't happened yet, only 0.6. But with extra minutes comes extra opportunities for steals. And a good chance here against Brooklyn to really contribute in what should be a really high-scoring game. So Fox and T.J. McConnell are the two guys I'm plugging into my lineup to start this sort of build. All the way at the bottom, you have Brunson at 48. He looks like a good value play if you need it to go there. At shooting guard, Van Fleet is 81, McCollum is 79. I like McCollum more than Van Fleet. Better spot in terms of a higher scoring game. Karis LeVert is questionable. If he does play, I think he'll be limited. So I won't have that much interest in him if he does play. But if he's out, then that just makes T.J. McConnell a much better play. It makes Sabonis a lot better play. And then it makes like the secondary pieces, Jeremy Lamb, Chris Duarte, Justin Holiday, look like really good value plays on this slate. Other pieces we have are Buddy Hield, Halliburton for decent options here in the low 6K range. I like Will Barton at 59. He's been consistent so far this year, getting huge minutes, and those minutes should be there once again today. Assuming that Jokic is out, it's a 10 o'clock game, so you're going to have to kind of guess, because I don't know if we'll get the word before the lineups lock at 7, but you might want to leave a couple of roster spots open just in case Jokic is out, or if he happens to play, then maybe you can pivot, because we do have 3 10 o'clock games on this one. 2 at 10 o'clock and 1 at 10:30. So you'll be able to pivot. You still have a number of guys to pivot from. So maybe you want to play like guys like Will Barton or somebody like that in your forward spot instead of your small forward, power forward, so you can kind of have the most chances to pivot. But Will Barton at 59, if there's no Jokic, he would really crush at that price tag. Chris Duarte looks good if there's no Karis LeVert at $5,500. Brunson, I like his price tag for the value plays. And then we have Luke Canard played over 30 minutes, 32 minutes. So that was a little bit surprising to see. He's played 20-plus in the other 3. The game before, he shot 6 or 7 from 3 and really stayed super hot out there. It's an okay play. I think Nick Batum maybe is a little bit safer because for Canard to really crush, you're going to need him to just shoot lights out like he did the other day. Or if there's no Karis LeVert, you're going to be looking to like Jeremy Lamb, who'd probably start, and he looks like a great play at $3,600. Or he might not start, but you get good minutes off the bench at least. He might start Justin Holiday again. So small forward, Kevin Durant is 10-3. Really good spot against the Pacers. He's expensive, but this is a spot that he should be able to drop at least 50-plus, close to 60-plus. Wouldn't be surprised if he flirts with like 70. So he's my favorite compared to Paul George. I don't want to pay almost 10K for LeBron, even though it's against his former team. But we'll see if he plays or not. Hopefully he does play. That would be fun to watch him go up against Cleveland. But 10K compared to 10-3, I'll be going to Kevin Durant over LeBron, especially dealing with a little bit of an injury. OG looks like a good value play, or not good. He's not a value, but he's still a good mid-range play. He's been a lot more aggressive this year without Siakam, at least to start. He's taken 10, 8, 9 3-point attempts in 4 games. The minutes are super heavy for him. We know Nick Nurse loves to play starters to the ground. And he's been contributing in the rebounding, contributing in the steals, which we all know he's really good with the defensive stats. So we can kind of rack those up. Against a young team like Orlando, a lot of opportunities for some turnovers. I like OG. I like Michael Porter Jr. a lot. He's due for another good game, or due for at least one good game. He hasn't had a good game yet this year. But he's $6,500. The price tag is still really reasonable. If there's no Nikola Jokic, he would be one of my favorite plays to target on the slate because we know all the minutes would be huge for him. You get a lot more rebounding opportunities and just a lot more usage because Jokic is leading the NBA in touches per game. If you take him out of the game, then there's just the ball's just gonna go to the other guys like Michael Porter Jr., Will Barton. They look like really good plays if you think that Jokic is out, which I think there's a good chance. Although I have no idea, just personally guessing. You have Scotty Barnes at 61. I don't mind getting to him. I like Porter. I like Barnes. I like Will Barton in that range. And then sub 5K, I like Nick Batum at $4,000. Looks like a pretty good value. Played 32 minutes. He can be productive when he wants to shoot. Sometimes you're going to get this game where he just wants to shoot 2 times or 5 times or 6 times. But if he does want to shoot 14 times, he's probably going to end up hitting value. Moving on to power forward. Sabonis, I think will benefit a lot without Brogdon in terms of TJ McConnell's the guy that can set him up just as well. But TJ McConnell's not going to take as many shots as Brogdon. He's not going to have as much higher usage rate. McConnell is looking to get his teammates involved. He doesn't have the best shot. So Sabonis should benefit. Him and McConnell can do some pick and roll stuff. McConnell can look to him at the basket. Somehow he only took 4 shots in that last game. That just can't happen for Sabonis. They need to have him taking 15 plus shots, at least 13 plus shots a game. I have no idea why he just took 4 shots. And he only got to the line 4 times, so it wasn't like he was getting a lot of opportunities. But without Brogdon, they're going to be looking to get the ball in Sabonis' hands. So at 94, we're getting a good price tag. Great matchup. This Brooklyn front court has been dreadful. Should be able to dominate the boards, and would not be surprised if he drops 50 plus tonight. I think this is one of the best spots that he's had all year. Other plays at power forward besides Sabonis, you have a lot of questionable pieces, so we'll have to see if these guys play. Looks like Davis will play, but if both LeBron and Anthony Davis are in, I'm not that interested in targeting the Lakers. They're only useful when one of the big 3 are out. Evan Mobley's fine at 68. OG, I like him. Scotty Barnes. And below $5,000. You have nothing crazy here. Maybe. You can go all the way down to like Nasir Little if there's no Norman Powell. Or going with like JaMychal Green in place of Nikola Jokic. If there is no Jokic, then Green would start. He started the second half, so I'm assuming he would start again. At center here, if you play Darren Fox, it's not like you have to pair him with somebody, but if you wanted to, a guy that he could get a lot of the Darren Fox assists might go to would be Richaun Holmes, who's only $5,800 on DraftKings. That price tag is too cheap, in my opinion, for a guy that is averaging 36 fantasy points on the season, averaging well over a double-double, playing solid minutes in close games, looking at 30-plus, unless he's in foul trouble, which he could be. He got in foul trouble against Gobert, which, not surprising. He also got in foul trouble against Golden State, which might be a little bit surprising. But this one, against Valanciunas, they're going to need him to stay out there just for some of his defensive reasons, and they don't really want to have Alex Len on Valanciunas. And Valanciunas also doesn't really move away from the basket, so a good chance for Richaun Holmes to pull down a lot of rebounds and get another double-double, which would really crush at that price tag. So he's one of my favorite value plays at center. I like Mo Bamba. I like Jared Allen. And then Valanciunas is in play as well. He's up to 85. He's just getting so many minutes right now. There's a chance he could get into foul trouble and end up busting at that price tag. But I think he's still worth a shot. But now that Precious Achiuwa's price tag is rising, I'd probably just like to get up to Richaun Holmes instead. And then I'm going to go ahead and just plug in, assuming that there's no Jokic, even if the Jokic does play, but you can plug in Will Barton and Michael Porter Jr. Right now, you might want to plug him in at the forward spots, but right now, just for fun, plug him into whatever spot they go to. Will Barton and Michael Porter Jr., they're both at good price tags. If there's no Jokic, I'd expect both to crush, just in terms of getting more usage and more shots, and overall just getting more opportunities. So keep an eye on that. Maybe we'll get some word early in the afternoon. If not, you want to put these guys in your forward and utility spots so you can make some changes once we do get that news if it's after lock. But I feel good about going with these 6. You have upside with Darren Fox, huge upside with Sabonis, great upside with like Holmes, and you're getting good value plays in McConnell, and the Barton and Porter would be great value plays if there's no Jokic. So that's it for the DraftKings side. Let's touch on Fanduel. All right, Fanduel point guard plays. You have Jokic, James Harden, Russell Westbrook at the top end. Did I say Jokic? I mean Doncic, Harden, Russell Westbrook at the top end. I think I like Harden given the matchup. If there's no Porzingis, maybe you can go back to Luka, but he was so annoying last night in his most popular spot. He was super chalk, but it was just a crazy game because they were losing like by 23 points or 20 points in the first 5 or 6 minutes of the game. And then they went on a crazy run, but that was when Luka was on the bench, and then Luka came back in the second. And then the Spurs went on a run, so just crazy game last night for the Mavs. You wouldn't expect another game like that. But I would probably like to go to the savings guys on like Damian Lillard is still only $8,400 on Fanduel. They have McCollum more expensive than Lillard, which is just a mistake. I know Lillard has been a lot really disappointing so far, but you shouldn't be cheaper than CJ McCollum, although McCollum's gone off to a great start. But give me Darren Fox. They're getting great price tags on Fox on both sides. I will take advantage of that. Lillard is my second favorite play based on the price tag, and then I don't want to really pay $7K for Colin Sexton or Cole Anthony's approaching $7K. He's fine, but I think you can go all the way down for like Devontae Graham at $61. McConnell's obviously going to be a really good play at $5,700. Then you have Brunson at $5K, who looks like a good play off the bench. So give me Fox at point guard. At shooting guard, Paul George, Luka are both over $10K. They're fine. Harden maybe can have a good shooting game today against Indiana. Jimmy Butler's up to 92. I'm not that interested at that price tag. I'll probably play him at forward instead. Shooting guard is loaded. It's going to be tough to pass up on like TJ McConnell at only $5,700. He would be one of the first guys into my lineup on both sides. Small forward, I like Kevin Durant, but I don't really love the $11K price tag almost. Paul George maybe looks a little bit better of a value play against Portland. And then, Brandon Ingram is fine at $8,200. I'd never really play him that much because he's normally going to get you like 35 plus or 40 plus. But how often is he going to hit 60? I don't think it's super high chance. But I would look like Michael Porter if there's no Jokic. And then I think Will Barton, it looks good either way because he's only $5,800. He's playing huge minutes. Matchup is solid against Dallas, who's on a back-to-back. And he's been taking a lot more shots and has the ball in his hands a little bit more. And that would change to a lot more if there's no Jokic. You could see him handle the ball more, get some more assist opportunities, and overall just contribute in a lot more areas of the stat sheet. Then you have like a couple of Clippers here, Batum, Terrence Mann. They're fine. They look a little bit better on DraftKings, at least Batum does. Power forward, I like Sabonis on both sides. I think Sabonis and McConnell are going to do great things today, especially compare them with each other. Sabonis should be able to eat the glass up against this Brooklyn team. I would expect him to have at least 10, maybe the prize picks props on Sabonis' rebounding. I don't know if they put up the Pacers. Yeah, if they put up the Pacers, take the over on Sabonis' rebounding. Unless it's like at 15. But I would say he would probably get you like 13, 14 rebounds at least today is my assumption. So I like his value based on like compared to Kevin Durant's price tag. And Holmes is 75 on FanDuel, so it's a little bit tougher to get to him. He looks way, way better on DraftKings at $5,800. And then I like Mo Bamba. You can plug him in at center if you wanted to. Scotty Barnes is fine at $6,000. And then if JaMychal Green starts, he would be like a great play. He's only $3,800. But moving on to center, I don't think you need to break the bank. I would probably look to Valanciunas at $8,200. He's been crushing, and the price tag is cheaper than it is on DraftKings, so that makes him a little bit better. But you can go with Mo Bamba if you wanted to right now at 65, maybe save some money. You can always make some changes. If we get some more value plays, then you can easily get up to Valanciunas. But Mo Bamba's been pretty consistent. He's getting good minutes, around 30 plus, most games that are close and he's not in foul trouble. And on FanDuel, he's very useful because he can get you a lot of blocks and steals, which is worth 3 points instead of 2. And you only lose, and he doesn't really turn the ball over, so nothing really to worry about there most games. So that's about it for the first look here. I'll post the updates and stuff on Twitter once we get a lot of more news and I do more research on the slate, but I feel pretty good about what I have so far. So thanks for watching. Best of luck today, and I'll see you all next time.